have a very special guest with us tonight. Bob Farrell is the executive director of ACC, Automobile Carriers Conference. Hey, what's up, ecosystem? So I said that, okay, so I'm in this test. I'm doing a test right now. First time ever, Auto Transport Intel, YouTube, Facebook, simultaneous. Bob Farrell, Executive Director of ACC, he's with us. He wants to hear your questions. Buckle in. It's Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Hey, what's up? Facebook and YouTube, first time ever on Auto Transport Intel, live simulcasting at the same time. Listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me again on a Tuesday night. I really appreciate it. Listen, if this is your first time here, I want to say hello. I always run the car hauler. That's how I start the show. And then I got the music and we're getting into the groove. And you know that after that happens, I'm going to say hello to the live chat. The live chat is a huge part of this show. That's what makes this so successful, is that you're here and we can interact, to some degree. And then we bring in the industry experts and the live panel. And I want to know, where are you? What platform are you watching on? Yeah, because I got Facebook and YouTube going on. I hope I can handle this, man. I think I can. Then we're going to go into some industry news. That's the stuff I pull off of Facebook. Listen, if you're watching on Facebook, there's a good chance you already saw this stuff today or this week. But every week there's so much new stuff happening. Yeah, the funny memes that land you in Facebook jail, you can share those with me, autotransportintel@gmail.com. If you've got actual news, maybe some insight or advice, or just something you want to share, you got a parking ticket and you're mad about it, you know what, I'll share that on my industry news, absolutely. So then we're going to go into the information superhighway. That's where I kind of set up the topic for this evening, and I got these monitors over here, and so I'm going to be clicking on stuff and doing my thing, because I'm trying to put on a great show. There's a lot to talk about in car hauling. It's a tough industry, and there are so many aspects to it. Carrier, dispatcher, broker, dealer, insurance agent, trailer manufacturer, and on it goes. All right, and there are so many good drivers making good videos as well that I want to have them on the show. And there's a lot to talk about and a lot to produce. And that's a shout out to Hotshot Dave, man. He's been throwing down some great videos lately, dude. You guys know that. So listen, at the half hour, we're going to bring in Bob Farrell. He's the executive director of ACC, Automobile Carriers Conference. If you're not familiar with Automobile Carriers Conference, then you are in for a treat. Bob is going to tell us more about it. By the way, if you can hear me and see me okay, let me know. Like I said, I've got YouTube and Facebook happening simultaneously right now. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so then, after we talk to Bob for a half hour, man, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Bob has a lot of experience in the automotive industry, so you're going to want to, if you've got a good, tough question, bring it. Bob is here to talk. He goes to the conferences, and he's very connected with, upper level information. So this is going to be great. And Bob, hopefully you tuned in already. You're watching the show, and you're like, wow, I'm really in for a lot. Jay's saying all this crazy stuff, and this is going to be like the big entrance. So it could be really interesting. But then we're going to open up the live panel. We're going to bring in my business partner and friend Ty Thompson into the live panel discussion. We're going to keep Bob another hour, and we're just going to keep talking about different things happening in the news. Oh, wow. So look at that. Oh, man. So we got the new Autotrans Intel. That's Kimberly Manning, the switch going on with the administrative, the admin. Okay, cool. That's awesome, man. I'm so excited about it. Now, what's interesting is it's hard for me to monitor the Facebook chat. So if you can help me do that, but Frederick says the audio's good. That's fantastic. Thank you, Frederick, for that. I really appreciate it. So that is the welcome show lineup. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to come right back after this. We're going to say hello to the live chat. I hope you'll stick around.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verification of loads when nobody answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years of experience in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021. Or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Absolutely. This is the Car Hauling Business Channel, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm serious. Listen, if you are looking for good dispatching advice, you want to talk to Murphy Auto Transport, Murphy Auto Dispatch Services, you're looking for the right car hauling trailer, Sun Country Trailers, that's what you need to do. You need to talk to Lisa. If you are looking for the right mobile app and TMS, you want to talk to Gopher Auto Carrier Software. Niles is the man to talk to, and we've got YouTube videos featuring Niles talking about Gopher Auto Carrier Software. And if you're looking for another good place to get loads that, you're like, man, Jay, tell me the best load board, you need acvauctions.com/ATI. Seriously, so many people are signing up right now. It is crazy. So I'm happy to share the good information. All right, now let's go into the live chat. I said I would do that. And, Ty is with us. Ty came in first. Is this where you find dispatchers? Honey, what is he talking about? Well, as apparently as the fact is, yeah, I'll take a... And Jay getting a little excited. Take a sip of Kool-Aid and cool off. Get a little bit of a cool down. Well, listen, we get emails every day. People looking for dispatchers, either want to train as a dispatcher, be a dispatcher, they need to get a dispatcher. There is a lot of conversation about dispatchers, and Ty brings it up. He says, is this where you find the dispatchers? Well, this is a place you can find dispatchers, Ty. There's your answer. Bill at Bad Apples is with us. Hey, what's up, Bill? Thanks for being on the show last week. That was awesome. Great having you here. Happy Car Hauler Day. Tuesday is Car Hauler Day. Michael Collady, hello, Ty and Jay. Well, hello, Michael. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. 7 Seas Transport, Artie is with us. What's up, Artie? IPUC drummer, Florida locked up, got some free time to spare. Yeah, I suppose that's the truth. Be safe, right? You guys already know that. I hope that nobody's, stuck between a rock and a hard place and a wet place, So just be safe, take it easy. Sometimes you just got to take a break. My phone's buzzing. Hey, Jay, it's Marcus from Exclusive Luxury Transport in Las Vegas. What is going on, Marcus? Marcus says, what's up? Hey, what's up, Marcus? Thanks for tuning in, dude. Ty, Sue. Hey, what's up, Auto Transport Intel family? That is Sue with Murphy Auto Dispatch Services. Listen, you got a dispatch question? You have a broker question? You could talk to Sue. Sue is extremely resourceful. It's unbelievable. Trucking Answers. Hey, hello from the check engine light in Indiana. Hey, what's up, Mark? How you doing? Listen, people, if you don't already know, if you're looking for trucking answers, if you've got trucking questions and you're looking for trucking answers, you want to go live on YouTube every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's noon Central on YouTube. Trucking Answers is the name of the channel. and he's got trucking answers out the wazoo. Auto Transport Kendall Enterprises, good morning, gentlemen. Hey, man, great dude. Nice Facebook posting with you this weekend. Yeah, man, I loved your video. I appreciate the shout out. That's super cool. Let's keep it going, dude. Man, that's so cool, man. Thanks for saying hello in the live chat. We got more. Oh, hey, Superflow Mark is here. Hey, Mark, Superflow Systems. Looking forward to the show on 101 or on 10-1. By the way, did you know that September 1st, the other day, was 9/1/19? 101, 10-1? What? What is he talking about? Yes, I'm looking forward to the show. We're going to have Mark at Superflow live on Auto Transport Intel on October, I think that's October 1st, right? Shoot, now I gotta check my calendar before I get all discombobulated. You guys use Google Calendar? It's pretty handy. September, October, that's the 1st. October 1st is a Tuesday. We're definitely gonna see you. That's gonna be a great show, man. TDK Transport, howdy everyone. Let's rock. It is Tuesday night. You know, I was thinking about that earlier, right? And I was hoping that would work out. It has worked out. Because Monday night you got football. And then, I don't know what you got Wednesday night. Thursday night, you might have football. Friday night, you got a party. Saturday, you got a party. Sunday, you're probably still partying. That leaves us only Tuesday. Let's see. Yeah, man, good job on the LinkedIn videos. Yeah, Ty, thank you so much for the post and the share and the work you do out in video land, keeping the message going. Ty is the ambassador. It's awesome, man. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for letting me know that both streams are good. I appreciate that. We all need back-end support, huh? So thank you for working the support side. I really do appreciate it. And well, that's cool. The admin account is working. That is so great. Carlos, ACB Logistics. What's up, Carlos? Frederick says the audio is good. Thank you. Oh, cool. And then you can even post the stuff. That is awesome. So, yeah, Sue's got her number. Anytime Towing. What's up, Matt? Sorry you're late. Man, you're just right on time, dude. Thank you so much. 8:13. Nothing but a thing, but you were here minutes ago. L.Y. Eagle. Hey, this is Lori from Coastal Auto Transport Cincinnati. Big Pro ABD customer and love the system. Sweet. Okay, we're going to talk more about Pro ABD when we do the Superflow system. But listen, if you are looking for a broker CRM, Pro ABD. Because here's what Superflow has TAQ. That's your transport auto quoter. What? You don't, hey, how are you going to price a vehicle move states away, right? Maybe you don't know that route. Well, how are you going to get a good price? You got to get the right price. You do not want to underquote this thing. Use TAQ, Transport Auto Quoter, to get the right price, the right pros, and then Pro ABD. Look at that. I added price and pro, and I got pros. So, big Pro ABD customer. That's awesome. If you have any questions about it, Lori will tell you all about it. What's the green Kool-Aid you're drinking? Let's see. No comment. Plead the fifth. Hey, Matt, anytime. ELD Kool-Aid. What's up? Toe Piglet. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. What's up, Ty? Here for a minute. Stuff happening out there tonight. Yeah, we know, Matt. We know you're busy, and we're always glad when you can tune in for a minute. Bought the truck today. Wow. No, just kidding. Okay. Thanks, Lori. Coastal Auto Transport in the chat. IPUC All Day Auto Transport present. Cool. That's a good name. Don't you love? I love hearing the names of the transport companies. Feel free to chat the name of your transport company, and so we give a shout out so that we've heard the name of your transport company. Yeah, I know that company, All Day Auto Transport. All day, man. Can I make money hauling on a U-Haul trailer in my Ford Ranger? Well, there, I think you need CTS business coaching. You need to talk to Ty at CTS. Show 101. This is Show 101. You are correct. Man, 101, 10-1. Were you trying to trick me with numbers? Not again, Mark. Yeah, man, this is Show 101. Thanks so much, dude. It's really exciting. Kicking off another great 100. I hope, right? I hope, man. Let's stay humble, right? We got to keep it real, man. What's up, Jay? I may need to get in touch with Ty soon on some advice on getting started. Cool. Man, I haven't even looked at the Facebook chat. Sheesh. Oh, cool. Customer relations. Is that my service? Okay. Hey, Chris Serbone. Oh, man. Dude, Anthony Biagini. What's up, Anthony? Oh, now I'm in the Facebook side. Look at this. Sandro. John Griffo's in the house. Leonard D. Lewis Jr. Marius is with us. What's up, you guys? Shoot, man. I've never had Facebook live chat. Hey, what's up, Sean Steinberg? Wow. Wow, this is going to be a long show. I'll try not to keep it any longer than normal. I know 2 hours is pretty long. Don't you worry. I got you covered. Fulcrum Indicate says freight rate, TDK Transports. Hey, Mr. Hotshot, Toe Piglet's in the house. Love watching Toe Piglet and Hotshot Dave. I agree with that. I agree, man. Both of those guys make great videos. All right, we have done our job. We said hello to the live chat. It is time to move on to the next video. So I tell you what, we're going to be right back with the industry news. I hope you stick around.
Historically, buying and selling wholesale vehicles is time-consuming, expensive, and loaded with risk. With ACV, our 20-minute online auctions provide immediate access to thousands of dealers who are ready to buy. Our inspectors complete comprehensive condition reports right at your dealership, from engine fluid levels and OBD2 scans to paint meter readings and tire tread depths with tons of high-res photos. Our condition reports take the guesswork out of wholesale. The ACV team comes to your dealership, inspects the vehicles you'd like to sell, and loads them into the app, and you're selling vehicles in no time. There are no fees for running a vehicle that doesn't sell, and you don't have to worry about transportation to a physical auction. See how ACV can work with your dealership at acvauctions.com.
All right, cool. Thanks for coming back. Hey, if you're just joining now, you are live on Tuesday nights, live on Auto Transport Intel. We're live on YouTube and Facebook right now. So listen, here's what we're going to do. We have already done, we said hello to the live chat. We're going to go into the industry news. This is the part of the show where I talk about different things, memes, actual news, whatnot. But I like to start off with, I like to start on the lighter side. Let's get things warmed up a little. So how about a couple just, random memes? You're worried about your 10-minute drive to work? Remember, truckers are on the road all day and night, rain or shine, snow or ice. They go to work even in maybe not in a hurricane. All right, so let's leave that. Yeah, so, all right, so that didn't even make any sense. Crumble. This is where David Letterman crumbles the ball and throws it. Okay, and Paul hits the keyboard. All right, next. Let's try something else. All right, sorry, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about trucking. Again. Oh, you don't know what I mean? Oh, okay, let's take a look at a big ol' awesome truck here. Another good one from Dave Gellinger. That's sweet, dude. Yeah? Oh, you were thinking about trucking again, were you? Or you're not listening to me? I told you that you got to feed Mordecai and dust the chandelier again. Thinking about trucking again. Typical. These trucks are never, ever getting back together again. Anybody know why? Because it's Taylor Swift. That's the last time I ate Taco Bell. I know, I almost didn't share it, but you know what? Everybody knows what we're talking about. Now that's good looking breakfast. It almost looks like fish. But hey, I was thinking about getting a tree removed. Say, those eggs look so good. I wonder who I should call to get a tree removed. What if Andy was the one that shared this? Brilliant, Andy, brilliant. When you tell your dispatcher what time you'll be there, then he says, please hold. Okay. Might be that. Now that looks like a pretty smart dispatcher. Okay, guys and gals, it's that time of year for me, insurance time, who has good companies with competitive rates. Now, this is the kind of post on Facebook where, man, this can go extremely random. I mean, good luck. Who knows? That's why I bring it up. Because, you know what? Actually, if somebody has good input, listen, if you are an insurance agent, now's a great time to live chat. If you have a company you can recommend, now's a great time to live chat. Or if you just want to make fun of somebody, might be a good time to live chat. Okay, but here's one. Progressive Commercial insuring since 1975. I know there's somebody watching the show right now that recognizes this meme because you made it. Dude, you made the news, brother. Owner-operator, parts, DOT, IFTA, insurance, low rates, lot lizards, chrome. Lot lizards. That's amazing. Now, I mean, it almost looks photoshopped. I don't think it is, man. Oh, John Griffo. Oh, man, it's funny. Hey, looking for a quality mount for my tablet? Tired of it just laying around? What do you guys suggest? What's interesting is, I mean, it's somewhat recent. There's the tablet. Can't be driving like that, can you? I mean, I know. Maybe just cross-country non-stop, just never stop. I mean, we never really got near a trash can, Martha. All right, so this guy says in Facebook, he says, I got loads, no drivers. So right away you're like, oh, great. So you keep reading. Currently looking for 2, 3, 4 car hotshot haulers paying $2 to $6 grand per run depending on equipment. Driver does 1,800, 2,000 miles round trip, great benefits. Direct message me, signing up drivers today. Sending all signed new drivers ASAP. Okay. Sounds pretty good, right? That's why I bleached it out. Ziggy says because the pay is substandard, and he got 7 likes. So I think we're on to the next slide where Mike says, let's do the math and give you an eye-opener of why you have loads and no drivers. Number 1, let's assume, I'm certain that's the best case scenario for a driver, 4-car hauler, 2,000 miles, gets $6 grand, that's $3 a mile loaded. Best case scenario. Number 2, I'll not factor in expenses aside from diesel, although my common understanding that most folks still got a note to pay on their equipment and insurance. With diesel being an average of $3.17 a gallon, based on 7 miles per gallon, average running loaded, that's 2,000 miles, carry the 1, 7 miles a gallon, you're at 286 gallons of diesel at $3.17, that's $907 cost of diesel. Okay? 6 grand minus 907, 5093 before all other expenses. All right, $5K for a 2,000 mile run one way, which will take about 3.5 days. Then finding loads back is just not good money for a driver who knows his value. Again, this math is on best option chosen from what you wrote as an offer. However, knowing how selfless and uneducated some drivers are, someone will jump on this bandwagon. I know for sure my trucks won't start for that price. Again, 7 likes. So, I'm just saying, and that's why I bleached it out. That's why I blurred it out. You see these things on Facebook, do the math, think about what you're getting into before you direct message. By the way, I'm not saying whether or not any of this is true or false, but I am saying it is pretty good to check into that. Because here's the thing is, you guys, anybody watching the show already knows everything I just said. But if you are brand new in this business, you're looking at getting into car hauling, you're researching, and you see a Facebook post like that, do some calculations, do some research before you sign a 5-year contract. That's what I'm saying. Oh, okay, hey, United Road, driven to deliver, needs owner-operators, earn $350,000 now. Okay, same rule applies. Whether you've never heard of them or whether you have, do your homework. And be a gangster. Auto hauler. And get the hat. Talk to John. Okay, by the way, this is fan of the show, Jeff at Faith and Freedom, wanted to share. He was happy with this load, wanted to share it, you know. And there's always going to be someone that's going to crack-a-lacka and the this and this and that. And you know what? Good job, Jeff. Thanks for sharing it. Right on. Hope you're having a good one. Be safe. Jeff's down in Florida, so be safe, my friend. Oh, yeah, this is the landing page. This is it. acvauctions.com/ATI. So ACV and ATI, Auto Transport Intel, have joined up to help make sure that you know about the best new load board that you need to get signed up with. No joke, man. It's easy. Company, first name, last name, phone number, email address. Get hooked up with Matt. He works in carrier relations. You got a question? 716-796-6976. All right. Hey, by the way, this is weather information. This is shared by Pilot. If you are anywhere near Dorian, Hurricane Dorian, there's a bunch of information here. If you need some web links, okay, listen, let's take a look at that. This is just helpful stuff. If you're national, there you can go to some pilot, severe weather storm, Weather Channel, crisis map. There's Florida. There's some links for Florida, floridadisaster.org. There's some Georgia emergency info links and South Carolina. And that is brought to you by Pilot. It's cool. It's neat to see. And thank you for sharing that, Sean. It's neat to see Pilot, trying to keep people informed. Let's see here. Oh, I lost my connection. That's okay. And, looking forward, once we get through this mess, hey, did you guys know that Pilot is having September is Driver Appreciation Month? Look at this. Free drinks every day in the app throughout the month. Shower power. Free mid-trip inspections. 100 points on mobile fueling on 50-plus gallon fills. That starts September 9th for a week. Check that out, man. Go to the app. Pilot. Flying J. Check it out, man. That's pretty cool. And yes, now I'm talking about, thanks for sharing that, Kimberly. That's cool. And, I know. Don't you hate autocorrect? Man. Stinking autocorrect. It's trying to help us, But anyways, listen, this is in the near future. Me and Ty are going to be in Detroit. We're going to be there next week. So next Tuesday night show is going to be live from Detroit. And actually, I've already got the video thumbnail. Auto Transport Intel is also working with Automotive Logistics. And so they invited us to the show. And we're going to do some co-branding. And hopefully I get somebody from Automotive Logistics live on the stream next Tuesday night. I hope so, but if not, you'll have me and Ty. And what's cool too, Automotive Logistics, those folks are out of London, and so they're looking at the global marketplace. Man, this is going to be a crazy good show. We're really excited to go to it and report for you from Detroit. 3 crazy days. It's going to be amazing. So listen, guys, here's what we're going to do. I am going to, I guess I don't know if I've got much of an information superhighway plan for tonight, so that I'm not going to spend much time there, so I can get into this interview with Bob Farrell. Bob Farrell of ACC, Automobile Carriers Conference. You see it at the bottom of the screen. We're going to learn a lot from Bob tonight, so I'm really excited to get to that, so please stick around. I'm going to be right back.
Welcome to the Gopher Driver app training tutorial. Once it is open, you can enter your username and password, then click Log In. The first screen you arrive to is a list of all stop locations assigned to you. Click Arrive. Tap Photos to take pictures of the vehicle. In this screen, select your damage codes and tap on the affected area of the vehicle and then click Save. AIAG codes are required for OEM damage reporting. Select your options and add codes as needed. The last button to click is Load. You can also input the customer name and email address if they want a copy of the order. The delivery process is very similar to the pickup process, except now you are unloading vehicles, then working through to the outgate. If you have any additional questions, feel free to call 760-267-9040 or email support@gopher.com.
All right, be sure to check out Gopher Auto Carrier Software. If you've got a question, TMS mobile app, Niles wants to help you make your contract business more efficient and follow all the standards that your clients require. As we move into the future, clients, shippers, the government, everybody wants more. ELD is not going away. This whole digitization of everything. Maybe you can work on a scratch pad, but for how much longer is that going to work with some of the new shipper standards happening? So anyways, we're going to get into some of that stuff when we talk to Bob from ACC Automobile Carrier Conference. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump into the ATI Information Superhighway. I'm going to make it brief, okay, but I love the Superhighway because I start to talk about the topic. You guys know that I make a lot of videos on YouTube, and now we're live on Facebook tonight. First time going live on Facebook while live on YouTube. And awesome. Thank you, Kimberly. Looking great with the information of the folks that advertise on the channel. In fact, if you've got a question, if you want to learn more about how to advertise on Auto Transport Intel, send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Okay, so listen, I've got the blog site, which is where got things like the 20 steps to car hauling and some of the videos that I've done in the past. Also, we have CTS Business Coaching. We're going to meet Ty in a little bit. But listen, if you need transport business coaching, you want to talk to Ty at CTS. So getting into tonight. Now, listen, are you familiar with ATA? Let's go ahead and refresh this page. All right, so ATA stands for American Trucking Associations. Make that larger. Can you read that? Okay, so American Trucking Associations, that's ATA. All right, now ATA is a big organization. In fact, so big that, check this out. If you go to you're at trucking.org, you know they've been around a while if you got trucking.org. Trucking.org, you go to there, and let's go over here. We scroll down, let's go to conferences. Conferences. So ATA is so big that they have sections of trucking, okay? There's 4 ATA conferences: Automobile Carriers Conference, the ACC; Agricultural and Food Transporters Conference, AFTC; Intermodal Motor Carrier Conference, IMCC; and Government Freight Conference, GFC. All right, so tonight we're going to learn more about ACC, Automobile Carriers Conference. And so here's what we're going to do. To do that, I know I can click on, let's see here. I'm going to click on, go here. I'm going to go scroll down a little bit further, click on ACC, and now I'm at the ACC portion of the ATA webpage. This is a big organization, and there's a lot of information here. So what we're going to do is, on the board of directors, oh, here we go, contact. The contact is Bob Farrell. He's the executive director of the ACC Automobile Carriers Conference, part of ATA. So tonight's guest is Robert Farrell. We're going to have him live here in a few minutes. So that is basically the summation of the topic tonight, Automobile Carriers Conference. You know, some people ask now, what's the point of a conference, right? That's always it's a good question to ask. Let's say you go somewhere, right? You go somewhere, you go to a show, you join, you become a member of an organization. Why? You know, what are you going to do there as part of the organization? What's the benefit? Well, when it comes to the ATA, they are a large organization and leading advocate for the trucking industry. We're going to learn more about that when we talk to Bob tonight. But that is essentially the purpose of the show, is to learn more about ACC and ATA and why you want to join. Okay, so let's do this. I got an idea. We're going to go into the CTS Business Coaching question of the day. And let's see here. What is the coaching question of the day, by the way? Oh, let's see here. Let's do this. There we go. All right. Okay. The CTS... Oh, and you can't see it. There you go. There we go. So the CTS Business Coaching question of the day is, what does ACC stand for? Anybody? Anybody? Oh, John Griffo's back. Okay, good. Dealerships told me I had 6 cars to get there. He had 6 monster trucks. Oh, man, that's what happened. That's what that picture was. Man, sorry to hear that, John. Yeah, and you know what? I've been the dispatcher in that situation. Woo-wee, talk about a tough spot, man. What do you do when you've made that mistake? Seriously. But listen, man, if you're a new car hauler, you want to get into, let's say you got any question, you want to get into dispatching, you need better insurance, not sure what equipment to get, you know, what trailer should you get set up with, what is the best load board, you can ask Ty at CTS Business Coaching. Go to ctsbusinesscoaching.com, and definitely he can help make that happen. So I'll tell you what, without further ado, Bob, if you're listening, I am about to invite you. You're going to be on the show here in a couple minutes. We're going to be live on Auto Transport Intel. Everybody else, please stick around. You're going to get to meet Bob. This is going to be great, so bring your questions. I'll see you in a minute.
When it comes to creating quality car haulers, precise engineering and expert manufacturing is key. Since 1986, Sun Country Trailers has specialized in manufacturing industrial-strength commercial haulers to fit every need. Each Sun Country Trailer car hauler is built with hand-cut steel and precision-cut parts for consistency and craftsmanship you can rely on. Once built, each hauler is sandblasted and given a rich powder coat finish, after which the hydraulics and wiring are expertly installed. Before leaving our manufacturing facility, each car hauler undergoes a stringent inspection, using a checklist and build sheet to ensure premier quality results. Need something unique? Choose among our wide range of upgrade options for a versatile car hauler that meets your precise needs. Our experienced service department is able to help you with any repairs, maintenance, and replacement parts your Sun Country trailer may need. And because we stand by our industry-leading quality, each Sun Country trailer is backed by a 1-year warranty on both the structure and all non-wearable parts. Learn more online at suncountrytrailers.com or call us today at 866-887-2453.
All right, welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. Here, let's do that. Let's go ahead and get those off the screen here until Bob gets in here. So listen, if you are just joining me, you have missed almost nothing. Right? What's Jay been doing for 37 minutes? Well, you know, that's the fun part of the show. I've told people this, you know, especially like let's say I'm at a show and I'm talking to an executive and they're like, you know what, I don't get it. What is this show thing that you're doing? And I explained, well, it's kind of like the late night of car hauling, okay? That's probably the best way to look at it. So, you know, we have some intro and there's some fun stuff and, you know, there's some ads and we get to say hello and there's a live chat. And it's a great way to kind of get this long build-up running start. I don't know. I like a well-produced program. I think you guys do too. Who doesn't have a favorite TV show, right? I mean, we all have a favorite TV show. I'll tell you what, lately I've been watching comedians in cars getting coffee, right? And everything I watch YouTube. Like that's how I relax. I go have a cigar and I watch YouTube. And by the way, Bob, I sent you an invite, so go ahead and join when you can. I'm just going to keep going. That's cool, man. I like that. And I'll resend the invite here in a minute if I need to. So I relax with a cigar watching comedians in cars getting coffee. And then also what I'll do is I'll do things like a lot of Joe Rogan, or I'll watch late night. And so those are pretty much, it's comedians and late night. That's what I like to watch. And that's where, you can get some news. You can get some news, but I cannot watch like nonstop political television. I actually can't watch it. I don't know. All you need is about 5 or 10 minutes. You've got most of it. So, but without further ado, here we are, Bob. Can you see me and hear me okay?
I can see you, Jay, and hear you. Can see me?
Man, I can see you. I can hear you. This is exciting, man. It is Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. And Bob, we're very excited to have you here. Have you been watching any of the show?
Sure, I have, Jay. I was watching with great interest your previous guest on dealing with the auction cars.
Oh, awesome.
Concept.
So, I mean, it's interesting that there is a lot happening, right, with dealers and auction cars. And actually, so I made some notes of some things I wanted to ask you. Let's jump in there. Let's do this before we jump in anywhere. For those in the audience that are not familiar with ACC and you, Bob Farrell, will you please tell us more about yourself and what Automobile Carriers Conference is?
Happy to, Jay. Thanks. The Automobile Carriers Conference is the home for auto transporters within the American Trucking Association, the mothership. We are an association within an association. If you are a member of ATA and you're in our domain as an auto transporter, you are automatically eligible for membership in the Auto Carriers Conference at no additional cost. ACC advocates for auto transporters. It's all we do. We deal with our state partners through the 50 state trucking associations. We advocate on Capitol Hill for legislative reform. We worked with the government agencies. If you want, I'll give you some examples of some of the things we have done in the past.
I would love that.
Okay, let me just divert back personally.
Yeah.
I have been in the association business representing automobile transporters for 37 years.
Wow.
I started out in 82 with the National Automobile Transporters Association in Detroit. In 84, I became their president. 14 years ago, 16 years ago, we relocated from Detroit down here to Washington, D.C. with my offices in the American Trucking Association. We were an independent association, but affiliated with the American Trucking Association. 14 years ago, due to financial constraints within the auto transporter industry, and it seems like there's every other year there's financial constraints with the auto transporter industry. My board decided, in working with ATA, that basically we would fold into the American Trucking Association. So one day I stopped being the president of the National Automobile Transporters Association, and the next day I was executive director of the Automobile Carriers Conference of the American Trucking Association. What changed? I didn't sign my own paycheck, and I had somebody else sign my expense account. The advocacy still continued. Going back to advocacy, as you and I have spoken in the past, Jay, over the past couple of years, we have had some nice productivity gains for auto transporters in regard to length, in regard to overhang. The good Lord did not look down one day and decide and tell Congress that auto transporters were nice guys, and that we're going to increase the length of a Stinger from a 75 to 80, that we were going to increase the overall overhang from a 3 in the front and 4 in the rear to a 4 in the front and 6 to the rear. That took a lot of work among carriers, other industry partners, and basically with myself, ACC being the quarterback and spearheading the whole thing and getting it passed through Congress. That said, we had issues because now we had a rear overhang of 6 feet by statute. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regs said that if you had a load over 4 feet, you had to flag it on the back and on the sides. So we had a regulation that conflicted with statute. Went to Federal Motor Carrier Safety and said, dudes, what are we going to do about this? And we came up with a petition, and whereby they granted us a 5-year exemption from the requirement to have flags on loads extending beyond the rear of a trailer more than 4 feet for the sides and the back. So right now, auto transporters are free to have the 6-foot rear overhang with no flags. We justified that before the agency, citing regulations from NHTSA and conspicuity that basically said you had to have reflex reflectors on cars, on the side of the cars, and built into your rear lights. And those standards were a lot better than a standard for a 14-inch yellow flag. So those are just some of the things we do.
Wow. One of the things I did a couple shows where I talked about a show about compliance and overhang, and I had asked a couple carriers, is this an issue that you think about that's a problem for you? And it seems like when it comes to legal issues, it's not easy to find people that want to talk about it or elaborate on it. It's not really a forefront issue until you're facing a fine or a problem, right? So some of the great deeds you do, some people don't realize that you're the one that helped them with a problem they may have in the future, but that today they weren't really thinking about. Is that true?
Correct. We work with our state trucking association partners to educate local law enforcement people along the way to how things are done or how they should be done. We worked with CVSA for them to get the word out to say that this is the way it is. There's a lot of misinformation out there, especially in the law enforcement on the roadside community, as to how to measure a car haul, what length we're allowed, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to sit here and take all the credit, Jay. A lot of moving parts and a lot of people, and it was a team effort to get productivity issues and gains that we have.
Yes, thank you.
But I said, it's sort of like a quarterback or coach, if you will, trying to get all the pieces to come together between carriers, some outside consultants that carriers had. So we all had the same message, and we're all going in and playing the game.
Could you estimate like the size of the team you're talking about that you manage and work with to make things? Is it possible to give a scope of that team?
We have about 25 carriers in ACC, and those are the large fleets.
Yeah.
Significant transporting mainly new motor vehicles.
Right.
Predominantly new motor vehicles. Some of our carriers are engaged in the secondary market and POV market, but the majority derive their revenue from new vehicle transport. We do something every year, every other year. I bring in some CEOs, and we do a call on Washington. So we go and I make a binder and a book explaining our issues, and we set up appointments with congressmen and senators and their staff, and we go in and talk to them and say, these are our issues, these are our concerns. So we can have anywhere from 10 to 15 corporate CEOs. About 4, 5, 6 of those companies have outside consultants, i.e. lobbyists on retainer.
Right.
We work with them in conjunction with what we're doing, in addition to myself and the ATA lobbying firm, ATA lobbying shop on Capitol Hill.
Right. So that's pretty neat that you've got that group that those companies help you provide the feedback that legislature needs to hear. So it's not just you talking, but these are actual companies, and they're experiencing business problems based on legislation or maybe enforcement practices that aren't fully informed about what needs to be happening. I tell you that when you talk about working with law enforcement, you see that a lot on Facebook. You'll see different instances where there is a disagreement. You may not see the actual instance, but you'll see the fallout of what took place between an officer and a carrier, and there's a misunderstanding there. And it may not have been the officer, may not have been the carrier, seems to vary, I'm sure. So to be able to improve that process is a great thing. I'll tell you on Facebook, you know what's really neat? I think it's the Indiana State Police. They have a Facebook feed, and they'll do outreach and share information proactively. I think it's amazing.
Well, I think the first thing, when we achieve the 75 to 80 foot length and the overhang changes in law, one of the first emails I sent out was to CVSA, which is the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, which is the umbrella organization for all roadside enforcement throughout the United States. All the state police or motor carrier enforcement people are members of CVSA to make sure that they got the word out to their members that this is what happened. And we did the same thing when we got the guidance from FMCSA regarding the flags. So we did a lot of outreach as soon as those things came about.
So we've talked about the overhang and the flags. What about on other? Are there more recent changes where that kind of outreach and involvement can be really beneficial on behalf of car haulers and the companies that are members or participating in that? When you were talking to the legislators, are there other recent changes in policy or updates or proposals that you can think of where Again, this is another good example of how you're able to help the process and the understanding.
Yes, when we went for the length and the overhang, we had a three-prong legislative initiative: length, overhang, and added weight. Trying to get additional weight for a truck, no matter how small the trucking segment is in the country, is very, very difficult. We were successful in the overhang. We're successful in the length. We're unsuccessful in the weight. We are still working the halls of Congress now and pursuing and talking to them and pushing for a 5% weight tolerance to bring us up to 84,000 pounds. Knowing that we do a milk run, that after the first drop at a dealership, we're going to be back or at 80,000 pounds. We got the extra 5 feet in length, so we have the added weight there. It takes into consideration. Consumers are not buying vehicles, small cars. Fiat Chrysler announced today they're going to stop discontinuing the Fiat 500. We now have, I believe, 70-some% of SUVs and pickups are what is being purchased. That affects your load factor. That affects the weight of the vehicle. Sometimes we have one additional spot on the envelope in the car, in the trailer, to put an extra car. And we could be over a couple hundred pounds, a couple thousand pounds. That makes a difference.
Yeah, I was going to say that weight, I could see that being definitely, of the three, the one that the carriers would all probably agree for the most part is the biggest problem.
It's the biggest problem. And also we have to deal with the anti-truck people, the so-called safety advocates who don't want any additional weight for trucks. The railroads talk about the camel's nose under the tent. They don't care about truck length. They just don't want anything above that 80,000 pounds. It's a very it's a very forceful adversaries going against.
I was just going to say, because rail, if I was going to generalize, which I can do because I'm just the host, I'm just the guy with the microphone, it would appear that rail, I like the camel under the nose, the camel's nose under the tent analogy, because what does rail care whether the truck has 80 or 84 other than as a competitive issue?
It's really not a competitive issue. Rails haul over 70% of the new cars in a primary move.
Right.
And if anything else, it helps them, because if we can get one more vehicle on a truck, it's one more vehicle off the rail yard that helps then free up space to unload more rail cars, and we get delivered more.
Right. So
it's a win-win.
Yeah, it is. I'm sold. Okay, so here's what we do. We edit out that part of the video. We just email it to all the rail companies. Yeah.
They know it.
Right. So they already know it. So they're just, okay. So that's interesting. That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, so you've got that. What about, you mentioned rail. Is there any conflict like that when it comes to port shipping to vessels? I don't know. They're not involved. No, it's just the rail, right? Because that's a domestic transportation.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds like fun. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
I had a full head of hair when I started in this business 37 years ago.
Right. Right. I think
did not have a ponytail like you, Jay, but I had a full head of hair.
Well, I gotta enjoy it while I can. I'm not as spry as I once was, So, so you talked about weight. Now, I did want to ask you, I made a couple notes here, and I also know we're going to bring in Ty here pretty soon. Let me ask it this way. It'd be like if in the Jay's late night of car hauling, if we could spin a wheel, if I could say, all right, do you want to talk about driver recruitment, or do you want to talk more about some of this policy stuff and maybe technology?
They're all relevant.
I know.
Driver recruitment is across the board. Car haul is a hard job. It's a lot easier to get into a truck with a cab and just bump a dock than it is to load a car hauler in sleet and rain and snow. Used to be historically the car haulers were the cream of the crop with pay. That is not there anymore. It's all very competitive. Plus, trying to get drivers. It's not easy. A number of years ago, we did a video. You and I spoke about it. It's on my website. It's called Delivering Dreams. It was basically to be used as a recruitment tool, showing a day in the life of a car hauler. And carriers used that and put it on websites, and they used it for their first day of driver training, saying this is what you can expect in this business.
Yep. Got it right here. So I don't know if I pulled up the video, but now I can't. Here, let's do. Okay, so I'm trying to. Here, okay. So I pulled up the video, and it's a great video, but I don't want it to block out what we're talking about. So let's do this. I stopped the video. It is on the web, and you know what? And I think when I ran the video, then we got a little bit of it caused a bit of a hiccup issue. So I stopped the video, and we're gonna show the link on your site. Keep telling me more about the video.
So it was a number of years ago. Auto manufacturers were after us, like, what are we doing for driver recruitment? So we collectively wrote the script, got a production company, and shot a video to illustrate what it's like to be a car hauler in the day of a car hauler, what you can expect. It was used, as I said, as a recruitment tool. Carriers put it on a website. Carriers used it in, as I said, their first day of driver training classes. And it was very well received, and it's been seen by thousands of drivers and potential drivers.
And you know, that's what's so helpful, really, if you start anything. Maybe you start flipping burgers at Wendy's, what are they going to do? They're going to sit you down with a video, right? It's a great way to get people oriented with what you're trying to accomplish, some of the tools that you're going to use, the way the organization works, and ultimately into more details, maybe how you're going to get paid, etc. But you know what I wanted to ask you before we bring Ty in. So you mentioned it before, and I think a lot of people really want to know the answer to this question. You mentioned, so car haulers maybe are not getting paid what they were before. Is that a thing?
Car haulers were always the Cadillac of truck drivers. Back in the days when you had unionized, when the majority of the fleet were unionized. But even today with non-union carriers, you get a car hauler who busts his butt and makes a lot of turns. There's no reason he can't make $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year, which is a good paying job. It's hard work though.
Yeah.
And as the millennials and baby boomers retire, who comes in the first workforce? People who want to press buttons and play with games. They don't want to get their snowflakes. They don't want to get wet. They don't want to work that hard. We predict, the numbers keep changing. I think it was, last time I saw was like we're short 60,000 truck drivers in the United States this year, industry-wide. We do mass outreach, both ATA, the carriers, car haul, and regular, trying to recruit our veterans who would make fantastic truck drivers. And that's an ongoing thing. We had the Safe Driver Act introduced in Congress that would lower the driving age for interstate truck driving from 21 to 18.
Right.
When you consider that you can drive the entire state of Texas at 18 years old, entire state of California at 18 years old, doing interest rate, that's fine. But you can't go from, I'm in Virginia, you can't cross the Potomac River and go from Virginia to Maryland as an
Okay.
18-year-old.
So you still, so even with that change, it's still only intrastate
Right now, it's only intrastate. Safe Driver Act would change that
to
to interstate.
Okay.
We have a built-in a lot of extra training hours in there, equipping the trucks with, as you referred to, the latest and greatest in technology. We have 18-year-old fighter pilots. Why can't we have them drive a truck?
Man, that is a good soundbite right there. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
Because I don't know. Maybe people didn't know we have 18-year-old fighter pilots.
we probably do.
Man, awesome point. All right, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to bring in Ty. So what I want you to do is I want you to stick around, and after the break, we're gonna bring in Ty, and we're gonna keep this conversation going. Listen, and I'm telling you guys, Facebook and YouTube, if you guys have a good question for Bob, bring it in the live chat because we're gonna talk about it. We got Bob. We got you for another hour.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that. All right, 58 minutes. We have 58 minutes. So
That's going to be past my bedtime here on the East Coast.
All right, we'll stick around. We're going to be right back.
Okay.
Hey guys, Jay at Auto Transport Intel here. Listen, don't wait until it's too late to get FMCSA and DOT compliant. You need to take care of that right away. The best way to do that is to go visit my friend Brian Riker at Fleet Compliance Solutions. Now, you can go to Fleet Compliance Solutions LLC, or you can also visit him at yourdotguy.com. And here he's got services to help you out, whether you're a single owner operator or a fleet. You can contact him and ask him for, you can get US DOT compliant, applying for your authority right off, or if you're going to be audited, you're going to need help. And he helps you make sure that you navigate the DOT and be fully compliant when you're going through your safety audit. Also, he can help out with safety training, coaching, OSHA, environmental concerns, help you protect your CDL. You can visit him and his staff. Go to fleetcompliancesolutions.net or yourdotguy.com. Talk to Brian. If you need an expert witness, if you're going to end up in court over a problem, you're going to need some help, and he can help represent you. There are links here. Find out more about Fleet Compliance Solutions. And also, he's got articles and information. If you've got specific questions, you can contact him at 570-228-6210. And I highly encourage you to visit Fleet Compliance Solutions LLC, yourdotguy.com. Tell him ATI sent you. Brian is a friend of the show. Thanks.
All right, and thanks for sticking around. Listen, appreciate you hanging around, joining us for Tuesday Nights Live on Auto Transport Intel. If you're just joining the show, don't worry, we're at the 50% mark. We have Bob Farrell, Executive Director of ACC, with us. And just joining the show now is Ty Thompson of CTS Business Coaching. You guys know Ty, right?
Hey, Bob.
Hey, John. Good to see you
All
again.
right.
Good.
Yeah,
yourself?
you too. Good. Been enjoying your take on everything. That's some good stuff.
Thank you, sir. It's just what we do.
What else is going on?
Oh,
What's your tell us what the biggest thing you're working on right now. What's that?
I'm dreading Congress coming back into session next week.
Oh boy, you're going to be there?
Well, yeah, Congress will be here. I'm going to try to get some meetings set up and do some things and talk about things. As I mentioned already to Jay, one of my main focuses right now is looking to see if there is going to be an infrastructure bill, if there's going to be a reauthorization bill, if there's any way we can continue to do our dialogue and possibly be successful in some type of weight variance.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about that infrastructure bill. What's going on with that?
Totally up in the air. The Senate Environmental Public Works Committee did their part of their bill. The Senate Commerce Committee did not do anything on their bill. In the House, Chairman DeFazio said his committee is writing a bill. He's going to have one introduced. He said after recess, so sometime in September. The big question is, nothing's coming out of Ways and Means. So any of these committees can write a bill and say, this is what we want for an infrastructure bill. This is what we want for a reauthorization of the FAST Act. But the big question at the end of the day is, where's the money coming from? No one said.
Exactly. So explain it, infrastructure. Some of our fans may not know exactly what you're talking about when you say infrastructure.
Good point.
A highway bill, highways, transit, not transit, highways, intermodal facilities, some could be rail, it could be all encompassing. We want to build our roads. We want to decrease congestion. We want to get rid of bottlenecks. The Senate and the Republicans in general in the House, they don't want to raise taxes. ATA has a plan. We want to raise our fuel tax by 5 cents a gallon over the next 4 years. They'll generate an additional $300 some odd billion into the trust fund over and above what it's generating now, which would give us enough money to do things. The problem is Republicans don't want to raise taxes. Okay. The great Republican icon, conservative president Ronald Reagan raised fuel taxes twice, and nobody balked. So I think what it's going to take is the president to get out front in the White House, take the lead on the issue, to give the Republicans in the Senate and the House cover. The Democrats who control the House aren't going to push anything until they know what the president's going to do. They don't want to go on the hook as being the ones in charge of in favor of raising taxes and have it turning into a campaign issue against them. They want to drag the Republicans along with them. So that's where we are.
Is that 5 cents every time we go fuel up, or is that at the end of the year?
It's 5 cents a gallon.
5 cents a gallon. And now tell us a little bit about this. I'll get the words wrong, but there's something about maybe doing 1 cent, and what the cost is for $1, 35 cents to, what's that?
Okay. I think if I may interject,
yeah.
Okay. The administrative cost for fuel tax is 1 cent per gallon to administer the cost. If you go to tolling highways and building toll roads, 35 cents of every dollar spent on toll goes to administrative cost. It's not an efficient way to raise revenue.
Right. No tolls, please.
Yeah.
We'll just do the 1 cent.
Well, it's interesting you said that. I didn't know the 35 cents on the dollar, because I was going to say, isn't that part of the problem that we've already got some of these tools in place, and it seems like, where's the money going?
Right. I live here in Northern Virginia, right outside of D.C., and I had to go to the doctor today, and the Beltway 495 was kind of blacked up, so I just hopped on the Easy Pass lane. It cost me $1.50 to go down 3 miles to get off the right exit to go to the doctor's office. Did I really care about it? Not really, in my personal view. My credit card gets hit every once in a while for $50, and it goes on my Easy Pass account, and I really don't see it. That's me, Bob Farrell, personal car driver. I am not XYZ trucking company with 1,000 rigs going long distances over toll roads. That adds a lot of money to your transportation bill. In addition, when you look at toll roads, they raise revenue here in the Northeast Quarter. But if you go into the flyover states, Kansas. Well, I think Kansas has a toll road. They got a turnpike. But okay, you go up to Wyoming, you go up to Montana. There's no traffic up there. They cannot generate the revenue to pay for a toll road. So they still need the interstate system, and they still need federal involvement. They don't need the feds to say we're getting rid of we're getting out of the highway program and we're devolving it to the states. That's not going to work for those states.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good stuff. So you're seeing maybe we may not see any kind of progress until when?
If I knew, I'd be down at the
exactly.
the sports betting bar or the casino. And
Right.
I was going to say the casino reminds me of a toll road. Everybody hates it, but everybody loves it, right?
Yeah, it's like going to. I went to upstate New York to visit relatives 2 weeks ago, and I went to Saratoga Racetrack, and I just fed the ponies all day. They never give me back any of my money. I just give them money.
There you go.
It's a timeline issue. I think right now, the administration and Congress is going to push for the House to take up. I still call it NAFTA 2.0. Speaker Pelosi had a conversation with the Canadian Prime Minister today on the issue. All reports said it was a very positive conversation. She's getting a lot of pushback from her members in swing districts, especially in agricultural districts, that they need to have this trade agreement done with Mexico and Canada. I think that's going to be first up. Then the White House may go toward trying to resolve some differences with China. Then we get into an election year. So the question is, do the Democrats in the House want to play nice and go along with the White House? The White House is going to have to take the forefront on pushing for an infrastructure highway bill and go along with them to show that we can do something in a bipartisan nature? Or is there still going to be fighting cat and dog, tooth and nail, that they don't want to give this president and the administration a legislative victory? That said,
Yeah, I don't know how you listen. I couldn't do that all day. I'd rather be a dispatcher.
Oh no!
Yeah, I mean,
no.
That said, the FAST Act, which was enacted 4 years ago, it was a 6-year bill, is running out of money. So we're going to need an extension of a reauthorization of that bill. And the question is, do they reauthorize it at the same levels with no policy riders, or do they open up for some policy riders and not write an entirely new bill?
Yeah.
And if I knew the answers, I'd be at the casino.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to shift on you if you don't care. You said something when you and Jay were doing your interview that I thought was interesting. I may have heard it wrong, but did I hear you say the OEMs were putting pressure on the carriers for the drivers?
No. What I was saying was a number of years ago, the OEMs were coming to the carriers and thus ACC. What are you doing about trying to recruit drivers? And that's why we came up with that video about 10 years ago.
So why was the OEM curious? I'm curious.
Because they kept hearing from the carriers that we have a driver shortage.
How far back was this?
Probably about 10 years ago. This driver shortage is not new. It's been around for a while, and it's going to continue for a while. As Jay and I have had conversations earlier, everyone's talking about autonomous trucking, and there goes your driver shortage. You're not going to have a driver in the truck. I disagree. You're going to have a technician in the truck, just like you have a pilot in a plane. He's going to be monitoring those systems in that truck, and
which is because we have a tradesman shortage growing, don't we?
We got a shortage of technicians.
Right. That's going to continue.
That's going to continue.
Yeah, that's what this will become. This will become from driver shortage to technician shortage.
It's already a technician shortage. The guys with the wrenches and the toolbox are retiring, and you're bringing on the kids with the computers because everything's all electronics, and they have to hook up their computers to do diagnostics.
Yeah. Well, as far as drivers, you made some good points. There's nothing easy about hauling cars. When you were talking, I was thinking about what I used to tell guys when I would hire them. I'd say, I'll probably lie to you at least twice a day. You'll probably want to shoot me at least 4 times a day. And by the end of the day, you'll probably hate your life. So you want to work here? It's a great place to work. Come on. But it is a tough job, right?
It's a tough job. I've been in this industry for 37 years, and I was like, it amazes me watching these guys doing what they do, and it's almost like an erector set and how they're moving the decks. Now I got to say, now it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
With the equipment where you can load from the ground, except for the rack over the spot over the tractor, and you can do everything from the ground. You don't have to use the chains anymore. You use the tie downs. They're easier on your shoulders. You have less rotator cuff pulls, less personal injuries. You're not walking up and down the ramps. We got ladders now. The equipment today is a lot more user friendly than it was when I first started in the industry back in the day.
Oh yeah. Did you have those aluminum ramps that folded to get to the back of the trailer, like 20 feet long with the stand in the middle? Did you have any of those?
Now, Jay and I've had this conversation. I've never driven a truck.
Oh.
I was offered the opportunity to load one once, starting with the car over the head rack. I declined, and I sat in the cab instead.
Smart.
Yeah.
I was like, driver, you have a job. You drive and load the truck. I'll deal with legislation and regulations.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a lot.
I got shafted. The driver got the easier part of the job.
I was going to say, oh my gosh, when you talk about the parties, like, oh my gosh, oh no. Like, it's already got to be hard. Because I was just thinking, between infrastructure, foreign trade, and, like you get
politics.
Oh my gosh, that's got to, a foreign trade would be hard enough.
Speaking of that, Bob, what are you seeing with the tariffs on? Sorry, Jay.
No, I was going to say, you got the tariffs and you got NAFTA. Pick one. They're both pretty
What's
tough.
that doing to the new cars, though?
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, no, thank you. I want to know that.
Well, first of all, it's effect on carriers. Right now we have surcharges on steel and aluminum in the trucks. So you not only have on the trailer side from the trailer manufacturers surcharges for the aluminum and steel, you're also having surcharges on the tractors. So we're getting hit there with the surcharges.
So the new $300,000 truck just went to what?
330.
Wow.
One new truck, 330 grand now.
I haven't heard of a truck being 300,000. Maybe if you do a big day cab or something. Rule of thumb I'm hearing is about 275 grand. But still, it's not pocket change.
Well, and
It's a lot of money.
and I mean, I knew the range, but what I'm saying is, I mean, just those, you start adding surcharge. This is where, because I one in my notes, one of the things, the war. It seems like there's a war on truckers. But a better way of saying that is just the fees. There's so many fees. If you try to list all your business expenses, and then you open up the category of miscellaneous fees that you're going to run into, oh my gosh, flip the page.
Don't forget, and this is something else that's percolating in Congress that's being.
No.
We have signed on.
No. I know what you're going to say. Say it.
We have signed on as supporters of the bill. It would basically eliminate. Don't forget.
Oh, okay. Good.
We have a 12% federal excise tax on rolling stock, on new rolling stock. So when you buy a truck, you buy a trailer, you have a 12% tax that you have to pay to the government on the purchase of that equipment.
Hmm.
Do you know where that tax originated?
No.
Democrats.
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
See?
That
It's a
tax,
family show.
This is
family
why
show.
we don't talk politics. We get nuts.
that tax originated to help pay for World War One,
Wow.
and it's been on the books ever since.
Man.
Oh my
And
God.
now you're talking
Whoa.
$275,000 or $300,000 for a brand new car hauler rig, and you have to add on an extra 12% federal excise tax to pay into the federal treasury.
Wow. Wow. And so who stumbled upon this? Who found that?
Well, it's been there forever,
You guys knew about it.
but basically,
Wow.
now when you buy used equipment, you don't have to pay for it. It's just new equipment. It's an effort being pursued primarily by the Auto Truck Dealers, the Truck Dealers Association, which are part of the National Automobile Dealers Association.
Yeah,
They're
right.
taking a lead. They're taking a lead on it. ATA has signed on as supporters. ACC has signed on as supporters of it. Just trying to make everybody in Congress aware of it. There's a couple of co-sponsors. They got a bill introduced. The problem is, where do you find the revenue to replace that 12% FET tax revenue that goes directly into the Highway Trust Fund? So if you repeal the FET, you're taking a large chunk of money out of the Highway Trust Fund, which goes toward building and maintaining our highways. So the question is, you have to find a replacement revenue to put back into the Highway Trust Fund, because the Highway Trust Fund is going to go broke.
Well, that's not good. And
No.
you,
Maybe it's poor money management.
Well,
isn't
that's
it?
kind of what I was thinking.
12%. I mean, your average truck's what? 100 grand? Maybe.
Maybe more. I don't know.
but you can't slash
Let's go
government
100 grand.
programs.
That's
It never.
12,000 truck. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
We're talking,
That's a lot of money.
we're not talking pennies here.
Yeah, but then they want to go ahead and add an additional tax. Now, is this 12%? Did you say that's for the, what was that for again? Not infrastructure, was it?
No, the 12% is for rolling stock. It's for the tractor and the trailer, and it's been in effect ever since World War II.
Right.
I think it started out at 1% or 2%, but like everything else the government does, it just grew as a money generator. The money goes into the Highway Trust Fund. The Highway Trust Fund money is earmarked for fixing roads and bridges.
There we
Highway Trust Fund is going to go broke because they have more obligations and revenue coming in. The fuel tax has not been raised since the 80s. Fuel efficiency of vehicles, trucks, and cars has gotten better in the last 30 some years. We have an influx of battery vehicles, of propane, natural gas. They don't pay a fuel tax.
Ooh, Chris says pull it from Congress paychecks.
Yeah.
Well, but see, you're saying the 12%
Thanks,
goes
Chris.
into the highway fund, which is really the infrastructure, which is where we're wanting to tag the extra 5 cents on, right?
Well, the Highway Trust Fund is going to go broke in the next couple of years because we're not generating enough revenue to cover the expenditures that Congress has approved for highways. So, the ATA position is every year for the next 4 years, increase the diesel fuel tax by 5 cents a gallon. And the way we have fluctuation of fuel taxes these days, it probably won't even be noticed. And that will generate $300 and some odd billion that, in addition to what is being generated now for the trust fund, which is more than enough money to fix our highways, our bridges, and get rid of the bottlenecks.
Well, yeah, okay, but really, I mean, if an average truck's $100,000, that's 12,000. How many brand new trucks did JB Hunt and Conway and XPO and those guys buy every year? How come where's this money been going for the last since World War II?
Going in the Highway Trust Fund. Well, the Highway Trust Fund wasn't created until the National Highway System back in the 50s under President Eisenhower. So prior to that, it was going into, if I'm correct, the general funds. Then it was directed to highway trust funds.
Oh, so it's probably been mismanaged. Probably didn't go to actually fix any roads, right?
But I want to say this. But Bob, it sounds to me like you have a pretty good grasp on. I mean, you got your arms around some of these issues. Are you able to make headway with some of your understanding in directions that will be helpful? I mean, have you been successful with some of the explaining some of what you've got?
Well, I'm just one part of the big puzzle.
I understand.
When I'm asked about, my main thing is car haul, and right now productivity. When I'm asked about fuel tax, when I'm asked about federal excise taxes, I know about it. I talk about it. I know the talking points.
Yeah.
So I don't take the lead on those issues.
I understand.
I'll just say I'm a supporting actor.
Yeah. No. Well, it takes a team. I mean, again, you've got to.
It takes a team.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, when it comes to productivity and car haul issues, I'm the coach. I'm the quarterback, trying to direct everybody. And I don't own a truck. I don't employ one person. So that's why I like to bring in my CEOs, for them to meet face to face with their congressman and say, I own X number of trucks and I employ X hundred or 2,000 people that live in your district, and this is my problem.
Well, so because what I'm wondering is, you talked about the CEOs and then going to Congress, does a lot of that advocacy happen behind closed doors, or is there some of that information that can be helpful if it's publicized, such as,
social media?
Right, that's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Is that, without being just too direct and crazy. I mean, so we have, because you get hot car death, right? And then, we got a hot car death problem. Now, we got, PSAs and people talking about it. Okay, and now people are much more aware of, oh man, I see somebody in a car. I wonder if they're hot. I wonder if they're in trouble. So this advocacy and public outreach and social media and PSAs seems to have a positive effect on some issues. Is there something that can be done on other issues in some level or manner to help with some of these things?
Well, I'm an old guy. I'm old school baby boomer. And I'll just say, I have a Tommy Bahama t-shirt that in the back of it has this big parrot. It just says, I don't tweet. So that is my reaction to, I'm not a social media guy. Okay, I do old school. I interact and engage with the auto manufacturers directly and with their auto manufacturer associations, the global auto manufacturers and the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers. Global is basically imports. Alliance is domestics with some Japanese, and global is more European and Korean. So I deal with the OEMs here. I deal with their associations to try to drum up support for what we're looking for. I reach out to other organizations, NADA, dealers associations, things of that nature. I may be wrong, but off the top of my head, my concept is that you do social media, it can backfire and bite you in the butt.
Well, it's political.
You can have every anti-truck person out there rallying around and sending emails to members of Congress saying, don't do this. I heard something today on the radio, which I did not realize, but not long ago, and there was a social media a backlash about don't go and eat at Olive Garden, boycott Olive Garden, because in one filing, one executive at Olive Garden donated $400 to President Trump's campaign. One person found out about it and said, Olive Garden is supporter of the President Trump, boycott him. You know, the same thing with Chick-fil-A. So social media is a two-edged sword, is my opinion.
So it's a pretty big deal for you to come on the show, huh? Thank you, Bob.
Right.
It certainly is.
Right, because
Gonna be
here we go. Here we go. Ready? I'm just gonna lob one out there. Ready? Ziggy Keller says, "Why increase the fuel tax when they are not addressing the abuse of the fund first? It's like a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound." You're welcome, Ziggy. Now listen. Here's the thing, Bob. We don't have to. We do or do not have to say anything, but Ziggy, my point of reading that, I want to make this clear, is that I agree. This is the problem with social media and public forums, is that when you're dealing with, and this is why in the two-party system, it's all about, well, we don't have our guy as president, so we're not going to help you. And we're not going to do anything until we get our guy. And then when we get our guy, you're not going to help me. And then, and it really, it's just, I don't know.
The whole thing boils down to the demise of reality, if you will, or civility in Washington. It goes back to the 30-second clip, and it goes back to C-SPAN. Once they put the cameras in the House and the Senate, everybody had a stage, and they were pontificating.
You know
before
what?
Then,
totally.
And before then,
yes,
it was the Democrats and the Republicans, and their wives lived here, their families lived here. They did cookouts in each other's backyards. They could argue all day long on the floor of the House, and at nighttime, they went to each other's houses and flipped burgers in the backyard. That doesn't happen anymore. It's a 24-hour campaign cycle. You're spending all your time trying to raise money, and you're trying to get that freaking soundbite in so that it shows up on MSNBC or CNN or Fox or whatever, to your audience. Now, to Ziggy's question, is there mismanagement in the Highway Trust Fund? Probably. Part of it goes to bike trails. But there's a constituency in Congress advocating for bike trails to get their votes for a highway bill. You got to give bike trails 15 cents on the tax of fuel.
Man, I appreciate. You know what? I appreciate you taking that on and just addressing it. This is tough, and I want to say this. You made me think, because I'll tell you what, I spend a great deal of time watching, History Channel, origin of media, origin of shows. I mean, like I'll watch a show about the Iraq War and what happened with CNN during the war. I mean, it literally, right? And that is part of, unfortunately, as you look at what's happened and where we go with information, that is the downside. Even this weekend, AOC was live on Facebook or something, and I tuned in. I'm like, what crazy stuff is she saying now? Right.
Let me see if I got it correct. Global warming is going to make the ice cap melt, and we're all going to be susceptible to diseases that we haven't had in centuries because they're all frozen in the ice cap.
And you know what? You explained what it was that I was watching. Honestly, I didn't know what she was talking about.
That's what she was talking about.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob.
You should have been in a little window below her stream. What she is saying is...
And going viral like this, I'll probably get a call tomorrow morning from our public affairs department saying, "Were you on Facebook last night?"
And
YouTube?
And you know what? What's interesting is that
you always say, I have a saying in this town. You always ask for forgiveness. No, you ask for forgiveness before you ask for permission.
Right. No, you do. Well, I think it's great that here's what I'm hearing. But right, it's up to the beholder, right, and all that stuff. Like what? Is that what I'm hearing, Bob? Is that you are talking in a general sense about some of the issues at play here, and your understanding based on, I mean, you have a lot of history in this business and with car haulers. And your goal in advocacy is to help make it better. So we're not diving into the minutia of how to pass the ball, but you're outlining some of the rules that it is that you in the football field and the arena that you have to work with. And we're not going to ask you to tell us, you know, Blue 42 and what you're going to do. I mean, that I don't need to know that.
I don't know it yet myself.
What right? Well, and what I know is that, and this should be the takeaway for somebody. If there's somebody in Georgetown having sushi watching this right now, like, what does that guy know about DC? Let me tell you something. Is that I know that the general population is quite aware that when you add such a level of politicized debate to an issue that we're really just trying to solve a problem, you know, you're all standing around a faucet in the backyard that's going crazy, and you're like, well, you know, but before I fix this faucet, do you vote Democrat or Republican? You know, that doesn't happen. The guy just fixes the faucet.
I'll tell you how crazy it is in this town. It was the Thursday, a number of years ago, before the FAST Act was coming out of the House Transportation Committee, when I received a phone call on a Thursday afternoon, or Friday morning, if you will, from a member of staff who said, my boss, we're putting in your provisions in the highway bill, the FAST Act. I want to go over the proper language with you. The language included the 80-foot length for a stinger, the universal overhang, and the language included a 10% weight tolerance. Sent me over a draft of the language. Went back to him and I said, it's perfect, just what we wanted. I was like happier than a pig in pig stuff. Kept my mouth shut, did not share that with except for one or two people, because knowing how things change in this town. Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, the House Transportation Committee did their markup of the highway bill. My length was in there, my overhang was in there, the weight was taken out.
That had to be Elaine Chow.
Oh
no.
Whoa.
Oh,
what the heck?
Elaine Chow.
Actually, Secretary Chow is very, very favorable to trucking.
That's good to hear.
She
Thank
is,
you.
because she makes a lot of money. They're in Tennessee. Where are we at? Louisville?
Well, she's married to Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Well, as a member of the general public, that doesn't play very well with the general public. But now, I mean, suddenly now we're in this is like a Roman movie, and everybody's throwing their sandals into the arena. I mean,
Right.
you know, I mean, that's not what people want to hear, you know. But that,
So my point of story is that I was told by the majority staff that my weight provision was in that bill on a Thursday afternoon or Friday morning. Come Tuesday morning, it was taken out of the bill. Had to do backtracking as to what happened. Answer, it's Washington. Nothing's final until it's written. And there was feedback I received was from some Democratic members of the committee who said they read an article that one of the auto manufacturers taking weight out of their vehicles. So if they're taking weight out of the vehicles, why do we need a weight increase for car haulers to move those vehicles? We had addressed that topic in our talking points, and we thought it related enough and properly to members of Congress. But someone raised a red flag, and they said, okay, we don't have consensus in it. Out it came. Welcome to Washington, D.C.
Well, again, man, I mean, seriously, I just saw John Wick 3, and right now I just pictured, like, that's John Wick of, like, political problems, you know, coming. You got the shotguns and the ninjas. I mean, just forget it. I can't imagine, man. I mean, seriously. You look pretty good for having to deal with that stuff all day.
That's got to be kind of deflating. Yeah, I would. Yeah, just like all the work you put into it and get the okay, and then show up and it's gone.
Yeah,
That would.
Wow.
I was not a happy camper. But,
so what can we do to
but
get
I can
better?
say that, you know, at the end of the day, I had a mandate for my members to go after 3 issues, which I had been arguing with them, like, you want me to try to get 3 things in a highway bill? You know, you only get 1 bite of the apple, but you want me to get 3? Actually, there was 4 in there. And at the end of the day, I end up with 3 out of the 4, which was quite remarkable.
That's progress, a lot of progress, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So do you got any ideas on how we can recruit and retain car hauler drivers?
It's a good one.
Geez, if I did, I'd be
You'd be
CEO
back
of a
at the
company.
casino.
I'd be a CEO of a company making a lot more money than I am now. Don't know. You know, we have a carrier in Tennessee, and I won't go into their name. His son, the owner's son, is under 21, and he's calling cars throughout the state of Tennessee, and is a role model for other young people to do that.
Nice.
Very articulate young man, very nice young man. They service a plant there in Tennessee, and he just drives one of Daddy's trucks and hauls cars around Tennessee.
Crank up the social media on this guy.
He can't cross the border into Arkansas, but he can stay in Tennessee. I think the 18 to 21 safe driver legislation is one way to go. We're out there trying to recruit military, just like every other freaking industry is. They're all want the military. With the military, you get good workers, you get disciplined workers. Some have post-traumatic stress syndrome that you have to work with and work through. That's okay. You can manage that. But there again, a lot of them are younger people that don't want to do hard work of car haul. And then you have a lot of them who just sit behind a terminal like Jay, pressing buttons or joysticks, and that's his day.
What'd he say, honey? Did that really happen?
You just said it. Family show.
Oh man, Kimberly will love that one.
Yeah, so it's you know, it's I don't know the answer to it. I really don't, Ty.
I've got a topic, but I got a question first. What's the overhang for a Cottrell 5308?
53-foot trailer?
The Cottrell 5308.
Not familiar with a 5308, but I will take a guess. I will assume it's a 53-foot trailer, probably hooked up to a sleeper cab. Now this is where it gets sticky. Federal regulations say you have 2 lengths for auto haulers. You have a 65-foot length for a conventional, which is a high fifth wheel, and you have the 80-foot for the Stinger. If you have a 65-foot conventional, you're allowed an overhang of 3 in the front and 4 in the rear. If you exceed that 65-foot length and go with a 53-foot trailer, federal regulations don't apply to that animal because they don't have any control over it. So you are kicked into the arena of state regulations and state law.
Oh wow.
Thus, each state says you can have a 53-foot trailer. Many of them say inclusive of load. That's the problem. So it's each individual state. There's no across-the-board federal regulation on overhangs of conventional trailers that exceed 53 feet. That exceed 65 feet.
And
And it is behoven to the purchaser and the seller to understand that if you are buying a 53-foot trailer and hooking it up to a tractor and you exceed the 65-foot length, then you need to do your research and find out what states you're going to operate on and if those states allow you overhang. Or otherwise, you're going to have to be 53-foot tight.
Or just call it a car hauler.
Oh, there he goes.
It is a car hauler, but federal regs say a conventional car hauler is 65. You exceed the 65, you're at the mercy of the states.
Yeah, we know, and we can't say we like it.
Well, then you need to advocate with the Department of Transportation and say they need to change it.
We will.
Changing subjects. Derek says hello, and is asking what's Derek Hicks, CDN.
Hello, Derek.
Yeah.
Hey, Derek.
Hey, what's up, Derek?
How's Car Delivery Network?
Because I was actually going to ask you. He's asking an ELD question, but I wanted to go ahead and move into, and we'll ask his question. I want to make sure. Derek says, what's new with ELD laws? He's hearing chatter around several ELD law amendments in the making, and I think he's talking about the HOS proposed rulemaking. Is that right?
Well, no, there's two things. I should have brought my notes with me, and I don't have them.
Okay.
The department came out with a notice of proposed rulemaking saying, we are thinking of changing the hours of service rules. We're thinking of changing, I'm sorry?
A few.
A few.
Yeah.
Sleeper berth, 14-hour, 2-hour personal conveyance if you're stuck in traffic. And off the top of my head, I don't know what the other ones
There
are.
might be 5, but yeah, right.
There's 5 main ones.
Yeah.
I don't have my notes with
And
me.
I don't have it on me either, but that's okay.
But shoot me an email tomorrow, and I'll send you the white paper on it
Okay.
that we have from our safety department.
Perfect.
Derek, shoot me an email. I'll send it to you tomorrow. So they're saying we are looking at doing these things. So we have about 2 months to file comments. The department will digest all the comments that are going to be filed, and there'll probably be about a year, maybe a year and a half before they come out with an updated to the hours of service regulations. Okay, ELDs, electronic logging devices. Welcome to the 21st century, Derek. We're getting rid of paper and doing things electronically. Car Delivery Network.
Ain't going nowhere, is it?
And by the way, the fleets, it's clear the fleets want ELD. If you're an owner operator and you don't like the ELD, learn to, right? Because isn't that the message? Just learn to live with it.
Learn to live with it. We're getting rid of paper and we're going to electronic. We got rid of paper with electronic, with EPAD's electronic proof of delivery.
Right.
Derek, we're going to electronic with EPODs. We're getting rid of the paper and doing it electronically. It's going to make everybody play by the same rules.
And so, on that, as we pivot into, you were talking about AIG, CDN, and how you see that technology assisting the industry.
AIG?
Well, you were talking about standardization. I
okay,
thought you
EDI.
said. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So I wanted you to hit upon that while we had you here. In that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, of the trucks itself, the moving.
Well, and then how you see, so where ELD assists in standardizing information and making a more efficient system for fleets, owners, carriers regarding what trucks are doing.
Right.
Then we can look at what's happening with the loads and the content delivery network and management of that information
which brings us to, since we got
It's
Derek here.
It's a two-edged sword. With the electronic logging devices, yes, it's a safety tool, and we're all for safety, and it makes everybody play on the same level playing field. But damn thing will shut you down if you're like 10 miles from a dealership to make it your delivery. You're an hour away. You gotta pull over. You can't go that extra 50 miles or 10 minutes and do the delivery. So in car haul, it has some downsides to it.
Right, it's worse in car hauling because you have less predictability over how your day's going to go.
Correct.
Always remind me of hauling cows.
That's why I got the ELD. I got my ELD I got my ELD egg timer. We're going to set some eggs and got the ELD, and that's about as smart as it gets.
Now, if you're hauling cows, you get an exemption because you're agriculture.
That's
right,
why.
but cars, I mean, we should have an exemption too because the car dealer is going to shoot us if we don't get the cars there on time.
Well, no, not really. The car dealer only gives us a certain window, and don't you damn bring that truck on my lot on a Saturday because that's my busy day, and I won't accept deliveries. And don't come after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And no, I will not accept off-hour deliveries or subject to inspection deliveries.
And load and unload in the street because even though our business is based on inventory, we never really thought about how we'd get it.
Well, they're supposed to have a spot for safe loading and unloading, but I've seen a lot of car haulers unloading in the street with those triangles out there.
A lot. Houston frontage roads, everybody's going 80 trying to get around the stinking car hauler.
Yep.
Man.
It's bad.
It is. It's brutal.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, Ty?
It sure was nice to meet you face to face.
Same here, sir.
I appreciate you taking the time and coming on. That was really nice. Thank you.
I've enjoyed it. It's been my pleasure to be here, guys. We should do it again sometime.
This really has been fun. I'm going to leave you with this. Last thing, and we didn't talk about FMCSA Clearinghouse. Any predictions?
Clearinghouse for what?
Thank
Drug
you.
and alcohol or hair?
Yeah, right. Well, yes, and yes. Drug, alcohol, hair.
We're going to see something soon on drug and alcohol. Hair is slowly making its way through the bureaucracy because you're dealing with multiple agencies that have to approve it and go over it.
But they're trying to push it so hard, though, man.
Yeah, then you have the issue of roadside inspections, and then you have the whole issue of we haven't touched upon it, and it's the dark horse that's out there. Dude, Colorado says I can toke.
See, and
the feds say I can't.
Isn't that
federal regulations say I can't drive a commercial motor vehicle if I'm smoking marijuana or I'm out high. You got carriers that have been stopped in Idaho last month.
Yeah, it's a big
because
story.
They were transporting marijuana. They were charged with
drug trafficking.
Dealing.
Yeah.
And trafficking.
Yeah. Well, it is ironic that with the speed at which they're trying to push the clearinghouse is the same speed at which recently marijuana reform became, 5 years ago, I'm pretty sure you were still a communist if you smoked weed. But now it's like federal tax money reserved. There's repositories. And anyways, my point is things have changed a lot on that issue in the last few years. And now here comes this clearinghouse, not to mention all of the discrepancy between state and federal laws. I saw a statement was made that we will never see the federal laws change on this issue. Because if they do, it'll be chaos.
Probably, unless they find a way to tax it.
Yeah,
No,
and that's what these states are trying to prove. And yet the government statement I saw was it isn't going to matter, even if they're just pulling in gold bars, they're not going to change on this one. So
no,
and even if they do, if you're a motor carrier, you can't have it.
No. And if you're a driver in interstate commerce, you can't have it. If you're a regular driver, you can't have it.
So it boils down to, if you're a driver, you're going to have to take up a different hobby.
Yep.
That's the long and the short of it.
That's the final word.
Yeah. That's a pretty uplifting note there. So
Thanks, Bob.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, man. I really want to thank you for coming on the show, Bob. This was great.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. As I said, Jay, anytime, we'd be happy to come back and whenever you want, as long as I have something enlightening to say.
Yeah. No, you do. And hey, if there's, as I always say to everybody that I see at a show, if you find a reason that you wanna put something together, if I can help you, please let me know. That's what I want to
Will do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, Ty,
Awesome.
thanks so much for coming in and helping me. That was great. You really helped out in that second half of the segment there. I really appreciate it. So you guys have a great night. We'll say goodnight to the live chat.
Thanks, guys.
Jay.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bob.
Bye. All right, so I end the meeting, and boom, and the meeting is gone. And then we go back to the opening screen, and then we got to change that. Oh, wait a minute. That is not the settings change. Here, let's right-click there, and bing, bada, boom. And we have tow trucks. Okay, so, man, that was pretty fun. I mean, it's interesting how you go down the yellow brick road of politicized information, and it gets messy. But it has to be done. We do need to do that periodically. It can't all just be fun with strapping down cars. Although that is pretty fun stuff. What do we got? Next week, I'm going to be live. Me and Ty are going to be live in Detroit with the Automotive Logistics Global Detroit Conference. So, I couldn't tell you anything about what it's going to be like other than we will be live from Detroit. And I want to say this too, is that this is kind of cool. I don't know if I can, let's see here. Let's go ahead and do this. And here's the tie-in. Here we have, look at this. This is from Automotive Logistics Global Detroit event page. And you've got ACC, Automobile Carriers Conference, and you've got Auto Transport Intel. And then you've got AIAG and AHA. And actually, when I was in Baltimore, I met a fellow from AJOT. I think it's American Journalism of Trucking. And so anyways, there's a lot of great organizations out there to get familiarized with. And then also a lot of great conferences to attend, become a part of, be a member, learn, share, and get legislative advocacy. As you can see, man, that is just a deep rabbit hole. And luckily we have folks like Bob and his team members to help us in that area of advocacy. And there's other organizations also playing a part. So, thank you for your service, because that advocacy is important so that guys, individuals, owners, females, that we can do the jobs we need to do to actually get stuff from A to B, right? Because somebody's got to grab the red tape and wad it up and throw it so that we can do business and move forward and also understand all the costs and policy changes. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. So, listen, I really, really appreciate you, Bob, for taking the time to be on the show tonight. I want to thank Ty Thompson, CTS Business Coaching, for also being on the show. And I want to thank you for being in the live chat and participating. I saw a lot of people come and go. But a lot of people, checking out the show in Facebook. That was neat. That was another great addition to what's going on. And of course, I've got, my YouTube core of fans. It's that revolving saloon door. Come in, get to the end of the bar, get a drink, listen to the piano player. Oh, there's a fight upstairs. Looks like I'm going to get out of here. I'm done with my drink and head back out of the saloon. And that's what happens every Tuesday night on Auto Transport Intel. This is the Car Hauling Business Channel, and everybody's welcome here. Carriers, brokers, dealers, Insurance agents. Yeah, I said insurance agents. Trailer manufacturers, car pullers, auction employees, right? If you work at an auction, man, check out the show. Listen, if you work at a larger company and, you know, like say one of those companies, I did the top 5 car hauling load boards, and you work at one of those companies and you've finally heard about the show, it doesn't seem to be going away. Maybe there's something I can do to help you or the company or something in general, because we see things are changing a little bit. Things are changing somewhat. So, you know, it's time to reshuffle the deck. If I can help, please let me know. Because I'm going to be here every Tuesday night, whether I'm here at the desk doing the show or I'm out somewhere at a conference and I'm live. I don't know, wherever I'm at on a Tuesday night, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be live on Auto Transport Intel. And so you're invited to join me every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. It's a 2-hour show. And we made it. It's 10:01. The show's been live for 2 hours and 1 minute. So listen, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I really, really do appreciate it. Again, I want to thank Sun Country Trailers. If you're looking for a trailer, you got a question about what you should be doing for your rig and your setup, you want to contact Eliza at Sun Country Trailers. You can actually check videos out on YouTube. Eliza, Sun Country Trailers. Talk to Niles at Go for Auto Carrier Software for your mobile app, your TMS, better way to manage your contract business. Check out Go for Auto Carrier Software. You've also got Murphy Auto Dispatch Services. You want to talk to Sue? You got a dispatch question, brokering question? Talk to Sue at Murphy Auto Transport. And also ACV Auctions. acvauctions.com/ATI. That's where you want to go to sign up for a better load board, something new, something fresh, paying fast, accurate info, right? A company that you can work with that answers their phone and gives you good information. ACV Auctions. So check it out. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next week live from Detroit. Here comes the car hauler. You all take care. Be safe. Watch out for that hurricane. I know you're doing it, but I really do hope that you're safe. And I hope that you can get business done and get back to your family, because that's what it's all about. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in a week. Thank you.